Lesson 100. Here we go. Okay. After today, only 20 more lessons, and we are done forever and ever, the entire rest of your life with math until next year. Okay. All right. This lesson today, adding integers. What's an integer? It's a number like, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, blah, 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 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are integers, okay? Knowing how to do this is the guts of algebra, okay? I taught at a government school many, many, many years ago, and kids there were too slow or didn't even know how to add and subtract numbers. They hadn't memorized them, okay? Like you would say 13 minus 5, and you should go 8. Or 7 plus 4, 11. That should be immediate. These kids were sitting there like counting on their fingers. Some of these people were taller than I am, okay? They were like going 7 plus 4. Yeah, I'm going, I'm just like wanting to start drinking heavily. But anyway, Chick-fil-A sweet tea, okay. But yeah, you have to know your pluses and minuses tables perfectly and quickly. So if you don't know them, you're in trouble. Okay, you're in trouble. So you need to make sure you are doing absolutely, writing down, you're doing those daily practice sheets, writing them down. Don't just like look at them and say and answer in your head. You've got to write them down. You've got to increase your speed. This has to be mega fast, okay? Somebody needs to be able to say to you, 18 minus 9, 9. 14 minus 6, 8. 4 plus 7, 11. It's immediate, all right? If you don't have that, you're in trouble. And you need to really make sure you are taking time to get fast and accurate at these. Okay, anyway, this is what we're going to work on today. This is the guts of algebra. And this is going to help you greatly do a lot of algebra equations. You're going to want to have this completely down. So this is another one of those things. Like when you're a kid, you learned that the letter A says something. Anyway, I forgot. I haven't done phonics in a while. But A says something to the other. Then B says something. Anyway, I forgot what it said. B says something else. So you put those all together, you can read. Now you're not sitting there going, B, what does it say? Hold on. Let me think about this. No, you already say what B says. You're not going, E says, let's see here. E, hang on, I know this. E, no, you've already read 40 words in the time I just, said that. So same thing here. You got to make sure you know 8 plus 7, 15. 9 plus 5, 14, and so on. 11 minus 6, 5. You have to know those immediate. That's what's going to help you on these, all right? So anyway, let's do a couple of these. Adding integers, basically, you're going to have to know how to add negative and positive integers in algebra just as a basis for solving problems. So you need to make sure you're fast at these so you're not wasting a lot of time doing this. You're working on solving the problem, not sitting there going, well, let's see, 8 minus 6, what is that again? 8, All right. This pretend that is a thermometer. So this is also this is what's called a number line. All right. In fact, a number line, you've probably seen those graphs as well. Like, oh, you graph this on a graph. That's what a number line is right here. In fact, this is also a number line too. The positives like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are here. The negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, that's all a number line is. Okay, in a graph. It's just two number lines. Okay. So in other words, let's say somebody says to you, oh, it's 3 degrees outside. Okay, and the person says, oh, it's going to warm up, though, 7 more degrees by the end of the day. You go, oh, okay, 3, it's going to warm up 7. Oh, yeah, it'll be 10 degrees. I can put my shorts on. And if somebody says to you, hey, bad news, it's 3 degrees this morning, you're like, yeah, what's the bad news? Well, it's gonna get 9 degrees colder by the end of the day, they said. You go, 9 degrees colder. So I'm going to go, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, it's going to be negative 6 degrees. Freezing. Okay, that's what a number line is. It could be like a bank account as well. Oh, I have $4 in the bank, Mom. Hey, didn't you just write a check for $7 though? Oh, shoot, I forgot about that. Oh wait, how much money would I actually have? I have $4 now, but I wrote a check for $7. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I got negative $3. I need to go run down there and deposit $3 so I'm at a nice even zero. Okay. That's a number line, and we're going to do a certain way of adding these. Okay. At first, This is how you're going to do it. I'm going to show you a different and better and faster way very soon, but I want you to see the concepts visually, okay? And again, if you're a nasal learner, stop, just sniff the screen. Mom will understand if she comes by your room and sees you going, to the screen. So anyway, all right, add positive 8 and negative 5. Well, let's start with a positive 8, okay? If we add 5, that means we would go this way, right? But we're not adding 5, we're adding negative 5. So you're going to go this way, backwards, 5, you'll end up at 3, okay? Notice that the answer is 3. You've added 8 and negative 5. What about 8 and 5 give you 3? Just think about that for a second. Okay, we're going to add negative 5 and negative 3. So it's negative 5 degrees already. It's a nice balmy day. And then the guy says, you call up the guy and he says, oh, the temperature's going to go down 3 degrees today. Well, which way do you go? You go to the left, right? So, 3 degrees, there you are. So the answer to this is negative 8. Interesting, okay? How about this one? Negative 6 plus positive 6. Well, the guy says, it's negative 6 degrees outside right now. People are, whatever, running around in their shorts. He says, good news. We're going to add 6 degrees to that by the end of the day. Okay, let's see here. If you add 6 degrees, you're going to be all the way here at 0. So the answer to this is 0. Look at that. How do 6 and 6 give you 0? What's the relationship there? Okay, think about that. Okay, all right. Here's another one. It's 6 degrees right now. We're going to add negative 6 degrees. Now, think about it. If you were to add 6 more degrees, you'd go that way, right? That'd be up to 12. But if you're going to add a negative 6 degrees, you're going to go this way. That'll be 0. Look at that. Look at that relationship. I got a 6 there, I got a 6 there, and I got a 0 as my answer. Kind of weird. What's the relationship? What's the logic? Okay. All right. Let's look at this too. Finding opposites. What's the opposite of a number? Well, the opposite of a number is the number on the number line exactly on the other side of the 0. That's what an opposite is. So if you were to look at a 4, the opposite of 4 is negative 4 because this is your center almost. It's called the origin. But if the opposite of 4 is going to be exactly a mirror image on the other side. So you would say, let's say the opposite of a negative 7 is 7 on the other side of the 0. Okay, that's what opposites are. Okay, find the opposite of each number. We just did that one. The opposite of 10 would be negative 10, right? That's all there is to it. Okay, all right. Now this is a weird one. Simplify this one. Negative 10 minus negative 6. Whoa. Now let's think about this for a second. If it were negative 10 degrees outside, and you went, oh no, and the guy says, oh, it's gonna be 6 degrees even worse this afternoon, folks. You would go, wait a minute, here's my number line or my thermometer. Here's my negative 10 right there. You're going to go, oh, it'd be 6 degrees worse. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's negative 16 degrees. That's terrible. Well, that's not what happened. That's this. We're not saying that. We're saying minus a negative 6. Well, subtracting a negative 6, here's another way to look at this. How about this one? Let's say the guy calls you up and says, hey, this is a banker John. Your bank account has negative $10 in it right now. You're $10 under. You go, oh no. And you think, oh no, I think I have a check. There's a check I want to write. I'm going to write a guy. It's for $6. I think it's going to be coming to him. No, I'm just going to take that away. That's good. That includes the negative $10. But I'm going to take away that check I wrote to John or whoever. So if you take away the check you wrote to John, rip it up. Then which way are you going if you're starting here at negative 10? If you're not going to be giving him that money, then you can go back and go, I'm going to add that money back to my account. So what you're actually doing, if you subtract the negative 6, you subtract the check you're going to write, you wrote John, what you're doing is adding $6 more to your account. So the point is this. Anytime you see an algebraic addition where it says subtract a negative, some people go, oh, just take this little part here and then move it over there and turn it into a positive and kind of go like this. So negative 10 minus negative 6 is the same thing as negative 10 plus 6. Just memorize that, all right? So negative 10, if you go over 6, you'd be at negative 4. Excuse me. Look at that. I got a 10, I got a 6 there, and I got a negative 4. Interesting. There's a pattern. We'll talk about it later. All right? Excuse me. We're going to simplify this. It's negative 3, and I'm going to subtract a positive 5. Well, that's just the same thing as saying negative 3 minus 5, right? It's negative 3 degrees outside right now. Excuse me. And if I subtract another 5 degrees, that means I'm going in this direction, right? So I'm going to go negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, and negative 8. So just because there's a plus there, don't worry about it. Don't let it throw you. Just treat it as a 5. So I have a negative 3 minus a 5. That equals negative 8. So you can figure out the pattern. Okay. All right. Look at your practice problems, and let's try those. You'll have to, if you want to go ahead and draw yourself a really simple number line like this, I would do it. Don't try to draw something complicated like this. Just draw something like this. And whatever you, let's just do A together. Okay. Draw a number line to show A and B, and let's do those other ones mentally. Okay. Negative 3 plus positive 4. Okay. Let's go and look at this. So negative 3 plus positive 4. What I would do if I were you, I would just go like this. Don't draw a big one with all these numbers. Just go, whatever you start with, do that. Okay, so negative 3 plus positive 4, that means you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over to the right because you're adding 4. So that's going to be negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. So your answer to A is 1. All right, let's try B. Go ahead and draw a simple number line like that one and try B. Pause it. All right, well, this is what you have. Negative 3 plus negative 4. Well, if you're starting at negative 3, this is what you should have drawn, same thing. And you're adding a negative 4, which direction are you going? Left, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Your answer is negative 7. Okay. All right, C and H mentally. C through H mentally, you can pause it and try all those. We'll talk about them together. Okay, so pause it and give those a whirl. Okay, negative 3 plus positive 3. You can go negative 3, you move it over 3 times, and it's to 0. That's C. D, you start at 4, and you add negative 3. Well, think about this. If you were to add positive 3, you'd move over the 7, right? But if you're at 4 and you add negative 3, then you're going on the left, to the left on the number line. So it's going to take you to 1. So that's D. All right. E, positive 3 plus negative 4. Don't get confused by the parentheses. They're just there to kind of help you look at them very clearly. Okay. So if you start at 3 and you add negative 4, you're going to go to the left, correct? So if you go 3 times to the left, that's 0. 1 more to the left, you'll be at negative 1. That's E. Okay. F, you're starting at positive 10, which is there. You're adding a negative 5. Which way are you going? Left. If you go 5 to the left, your answer is 5. Okay. Last two. No, sorry, not the last two, because there's a lot of them. All right. Negative 10 plus negative 5. Well, if you're at negative 10 here, and you go negative 5, that means you're going farther to the left, which will take you to negative 15. H, negative 10 plus positive 5. Well, if you're starting at negative 10, you're there. If you're going 5, adding positive 5, you're going to the right, which will take you at and leave you at negative 5. Okay. All right. I, the opposite of negative 8 is 8. J, the opposite of 4 is negative 4. K, the opposite of 0, 0. There is no really opposite like that. Okay. All right. Let's do this using algebraic addition. Okay, well, let's do it. L is negative 3 minus negative 4. Okay, there we go. Algebraic addition. Let's take a look. If you want to, anytime, you can chuck, parentheses around these if you want to make them kind of stand out a little bit to yourself. Okay, well, this one you're starting at negative 3. You're subtracting a negative 4. Now, if it just said this, negative 3 minus 4, In other words, this is the same thing as saying -3 plus -4. Then you'd start here, and then you go, oh, I'm going to go 4 this way and end up at -7. That's not what's happening. This is not a plus, it's a negative. So I'm starting at -3, but I'm taking away the -4. Remember, we could do this as well. Move that part of the minus there and just go like this. So -3, or the opposite of 3, plus 4 means you're going to the right. So you're starting here, and you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. The answer is 1. 1. Okay. Last 3. -4 minus +2. Well, you're starting at -4. Let me get this out of here. Minus, you don't even have to put the positive there. All right? It's -4 degrees. The weatherman said, hey, it's going to get 2 degrees colder. Guess what the temperature is going to be? -6. Okay, last 2. +3 minus -6. All right. Well, I got a 3, and I'm subtracting a -6, which is the same thing as adding 6, right? So the 3 plus 6, we all know the answer. 36. No, 9, of course. Okay. Last one is O. I got -2 minus -4. Let's figure this thing out. -2 minus -4. Okay, and remember, you can start with -2. So we're starting here. We're going to subtract the -4. Well, that's the same as subtracting a negative. Or in other words, doing the opposite of a negative is the same thing as a positive, right? So I'm starting at -2. Am I going to the right or to the left? Right. Okay. I'm going 4 over, which leaves me at +2. There we go. Okay. All right. Get lesson 100 done. Knock it out. 25 or more if you can get those right. And we will start the last 20 lessons of 7-6 very soon. See you guys.